Hi, it's Dr. Doug Curtis.
And you see Curtis from Dyslexic and Unstoppable. Our mission is to help dyslexics rediscover their inner power.
And we wanted to talk to you about an episode that happened, reminded us of the power of words. As we've mentioned, we're doing this documentary, Dyslexic and Unstoppable, The Power of Words, where we're interviewing a number of very successful people with dyslexia in all kinds of walks of life. Investors, producers, movie stars, and talking about the power of the words that people used with them when they were little, and how it affected them. And we recently got a reminder of this from a friend of ours, right?
Right. She was talking about how her child, when her daughter went to the eye doctor, her daughter, always had a great, the vision was perfect, and she went to her last visit, and she was having difficulties with the letters and things like that, and all of a sudden, they started questioning, and in the end, she had like a 20/20 on one side and a 20/25 on the other, and then we're going to start, checking this more, and she was saying that her child, you could see that it affected her, and all of a sudden she thought, oh my God, I don't have these great eyes that I thought I had, and then I'm going to have glasses and all that, those things, and this is all these like projections that haven't even happened, that are being put into play,
right,
because of one person's, view of something that is not really necessarily what's going to happen.
Right, and I think it also shows, especially for people in power, and that includes doctors and teachers, of course, but also parents, right? Your words, your kids really buy into it, right? So, an off-ended comment from a person, a doctor, can be like, to a child can be like, oh my gosh, and it can define them. And so it just goes to remind us, parents, teachers, doctors, anyone who deals with children.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Just to be mindful of the power of words and use them for good and use them to help your child. So.
I think of not just at that level, but as your child, as a friend. How many times have I heard someone else or somebody else say something to another child, and I'd be like, wow, like this empowerment, because of competition or jealousy or just to say it or things like that. We're always so aware of empowering our kids to empower other children too, so that it's not about, competition or I'm having a bad day, so I'm going to project on you, but it's incredible the amount of power words have, and that are not, people don't really think of what they're saying,
right, and
they don't realize how, if think about what we're saying, and start looking around how people are reacting of how many times a year she said that, he told me this, she said that, all the time, that it's constantly happening, and it affects us.
Yeah. The other thing I think it brings up is as parents, you're going to slip up, right? We slip up. Every once in a while, we say something that we don't mean.
It didn't come out right?
Exactly. And so when that happens, and you realize it, once you become conscious of the power of words, then I think it helps you to go back to your child and say, I'm sorry, I said something I shouldn't have. That's not what I meant, and it allows you to fix the situation before it becomes bigger.
It's so true that what you're saying, because we've read the 4 Agreements, the power. Being impeccable. With your word and all these things. And that book it should be read. Oh my gosh, the 4 Agreements is incredible. And even my kids, because I listen to it I'm dyslexic, so I listen to an audiobook more than once. So my kids know the book, and they know the 4 Agreements, and they remind me. But also it reminds me, because now, we talk about habits, right? So if your words are habits or things like that, when you change your habit or start noticing something different, you change your habit. So I literally changed my way of thinking. So if my something happens with my kid and I say something and then I think about it afterwards and it didn't come out exactly the way I wanted to, or it didn't empower them, I will go back and I will sit down with them and I will explain what I meant, and or if I said something that I shouldn't have said or shouldn't have been said, I will go and apologize and I will tell them, please forgive me for that, because I don't want it to be something that they remember.
Right.
And it's a thing, and you could see that when or even if somebody said something to them or something happened, and you can see your child and their behavior is different, their demeanor is different, that something is bothering them. I always investigate, and they know that they're safe with us, so they always talk to us about things, and after we've talked about it, you could see the release, so that they can move on and not accumulate these things, because we live in a society that you can't protect them from everything, right? It's impossible. Yeah. But if you empower them with ways to understand maybe why somebody would have said something like that, or question it or things like that, then it doesn't become a thing that they hold on to. Right.
And I think the other thing is, when you realize you've done it and you go to apologize to them, you can let them know that came from something where I was stressed about something from work or whatever.
Usually,
and so it helps them realize when somebody else says something about them that it has nothing to do with them. It's something else that other person was dealing with, right? Because it shows them by an example that, I said that, I didn't mean to, it had nothing to do with you, it was really about something I was dealing with. And so then the next time someone says something like that, they can kind of brush it off a little bit better. So.
Not taking it personally.
Exactly.
I mean, we've learned that in our classes. Yeah, Do not take it personally.
Right.
Took me a while to get that lesson, but...
So anyway, just another reminder of the power of words.
Yes.
Let us know what you think. Leave us a comment below and visit us at dyslexicandunstoppable.com.
Thank you.
Thanks.